The MLA citation style, developed by the Modern Language Association, is the most common citation style in English and humanities courses. MLA citations have two parts: in-text citations that follow a quote, paraphrase, or summary within your research paper, and a Works Cited page that lists a full reference for all sources mentioned above. This video will show you how to create your Works Cited page and check references for accuracy. For help with in-text citations, watch part 1 of our series on MLA style. All MLA Works Cited references have 9 core elements. These stay consistent regardless of the type of source you're working with. The first two elements are the author and the title of source. These are the primary ways that we identify works in MLA. Next, we have information about how that work was published and distributed. MLA calls this set of elements the container. A container can be something like a book of short stories or a magazine with multiple articles. It is a larger work that contains smaller works. A container could also be a website or database that collects many works. Note: an item can have more than one container. For example, if it is a short story that was published in a magazine and accessed through a website, both the magazine issue and the website would be separate containers. For each container, collect the following information: the title of container, which is the name of a larger work, website, or database. Though note, if the item is self-contained, such as a physical book, you don't need to include a separate title of container. Next, include the people, groups, and organizations that contributed to the work. These individuals are not the primary author, but they may include editors, translators, or the authors of introductions, forewords, and afterwords. If multiple versions exist, include the specific edition of a work, such as second edition. If the work is part of a larger series, include a number identifying its sequence, such as volume, issue, episode, or season number. Next, specify the organization responsible for publishing the work and making it available to the public. You should also include the publication or upload date of the item. This is the date the work was made available to the public. And finally, note the location where the work can be found. Most commonly, this is represented by page numbers within a printed work or a URL to a website. If any elements are missing within the original work, you can omit them from your citation. The one exception to this is the title of the source. If there isn't a title for your source, you should write your own short description of the work. Once you have this information, list each element in the same order as the MLA template shown here, paying attention to the punctuation noted after each element. Additionally, pay attention to how you capitalize the title of source. In MLA, you should use headline capitalization. This means you should capitalize all words except for the following types of words if they fall in the middle of a title: prepositions, such as against, as, between, in, of, and to; coordinating conjunctions, such as and, but, for, not, or, so, and yet; and articles, such as a, an, and the. Let's look at a few examples and identify their elements. For a book, the best places to get citation information are on the title and copyright pages. The title page will generally appear just before the table of contents, and the copyright page is usually on the back of the title page. For ease, I have put these pages side by side. This example is from The House of the Spirits by Isabel Allende. We can go down the list and identify each element from these pages. The book's author, Isabel Allende, will eventually be listed in the last name, first name format in the full reference. Its full title is The House of the Spirits, a novel. Since the book is self-contained, we don't need a separate container title. This means we can drop this element. For additional contributors, we need to list the translator, Magda Bogen. On the copyright page, we can see that this is the Atria paperback edition, so this will be the version. As a side note, the edition statement is frequently omitted from sources. Since this is a standalone work, we can omit the number element. The publisher is Atria Paperback, and the publication date should be the latest year from the copyright page. In this case, 2025. Finally, since we're citing the entire book, we don't need to provide a specific location. When we add all these elements together, we get the following citation. Allende, Isabel, period. The House of the Spirits, a novel, period. Translated by Magda Bogen, Atria Paperback Edition, Atria Paperback, 2025, period. Now, let's look at the process of citing a peer-reviewed article from an academic journal. This is a research article I found within the Taylor and Francis online database. This means that it will have two containers. First, the original issue of the journal where the article was published, and the database that hosts the online version. If we look at the print version of the article, we can see the core MLA elements right in the center, the authors and the title. To find information about the first container, the journal issue, we need to look at the top header, where we will find the title of the journal, the volume and issue numbers, the publication date, and the page location of the article within the larger issue. To find information on the second container, we need to go back to the web page in the database. Here, we can see the title of the database in the upper left-hand corner. On the bottom of the page, we can see the publisher or the organization that manages the database, Informa. Finally, we can grab a link to the article. Putting this all together, the final citation should look like this. A few notes about this citation. Since there are two authors, only the first author needs to be listed in the last, first format. The second author should be listed as normal. Additionally, each container has its own location. Within the journal, the location of the article is its page numbers. Within the database, we use a DOI link, which is a permanent URL that will never change. Let's look at one last source type, a TikTok video. The author of this video is the name of the profile, Keep the Meter Running. We can find the title of the video in the description, which is Dorothy. The title of container will be the website or app you're using, in this case, TikTok. And if we scroll down in the description, we can see that the video was created by Kareem Rama, so he will be added to the contributor element. Based on the description, we can also see that this video is part 1 of a series, so that will be added to the number element. The date of upload is listed at the top as 2024, September 17th, and we can click the copy link button to get the URL. Putting this together, here's the final citation. Generating citations. So far, we've shown you how to create these citations by hand. However, there are many tools that can help you with this process. If you are using LaGuardia's One Search tool, you can look for the Citation button on the item detail page. Click the button and the citation style you need for your course, in this case MLA. For other databases and websites, look for a similar cite or quotation mark icon. There are also independent tools that can help you generate and format citations. One tool we recommend is ZoteroBib. This tool can automatically generate citations in almost any citation style based on a title or unique identifier for the item, such as a URL, DOI, or ISBN. You can also manually input citation information if it can't find the item. Click the recommended tutorial video in the top right corner if you're interested in learning more. As a word of warning, while these generated citations are often correct or very close to MLA style, they are not always guaranteed to be perfect. For example, they might include author or title names in all caps, or may select the wrong edition or omit that information altogether. The citations that tools like ZoteroBib create are only as good as the information that is provided. As a result, you should always proofread generated citations before using them in your paper. Now that we have these full MLA citations, we can put them together to make an MLA Works Cited page. This section should come at the very end of your paper and start on a new blank page. After the heading Works Cited, list each reference in alphabetical order according to the first author's last name. If a reference doesn't have an author, use its title to alphabetize the citation. All Works Cited entries should be in an easily readable typeface, such as Times New Roman 12-point font, and double-spaced. Citations should also have a special indentation formatting called a hanging indent. This adds an extra space to all lines after the first. To add a hanging indent in the Microsoft Word desktop app, highlight your citations, click the line spacing button in the Home ribbon, and select Line Spacing Options. From here, click the Special drop-down under Indentation and select Hanging. This should automatically be set at 0.5 inches. To add the hanging indent in the Microsoft Word browser version, click the three dots for more paragraph options. Hover over Special Indent and select Hanging. In Google Docs, click Format in the top menu bar, hover over Align an Indent, click Indentation Options, select Hanging under Special Indent, and set the indent at 0.5 inches. With the strategies outlined in this video, we hope you feel confident in your ability to create MLA Works Cited pages. Even with practice though, it's normal to have questions, especially when you're working with new or unusual sources. If you need help, there are several great options on campus. To start, talk with your professor since they know the specific expectations for your assignment. You can also visit the LaGuardia Community College Writing Center, which offers both in-person and virtual support. The Writing Center provides in-depth tutoring for research and writing and is in the B building, room B200. Finally, the LaGuardia Library is here to help. Our librarians are familiar with MLA citation standards and can answer questions about citation requirements and formatting. Librarians are available in person at the library's reference desk in the E building or online through chat at library.laguardia.edu. If you need guidance on creating in-text citations, watch part 1 of our MLA citation series.